If you look around a crowded city street today, you will see an incredible diversity of human faces, cultures, and languages. But beneath that surface variety, we are all biologically identical. Every single person on Earth belongs to the exact same species, Homo sapiens. We treat being the only human species on the planet as a natural, default setting. But on the timeline of human history, our solitary existence is a bizarre anomaly. For 90% of our history, we shared the Earth with several entirely different species of humans. There were Neanderthals, Denisovans, Homo floresiensis, and possibly others we haven't even discovered yet. It was a crowded, chaotic family reunion. So why did our relatives vanish? Why are we the last human standing? And did we actively destroy them or simply out-cooperate them? To understand this, we have to look back 50,000 years when the world was a very busy place. In Europe and Western Asia, Neanderthals were thriving. They were physically superior to us, built like powerlifters, with thick bones, massive muscles, and brains that were actually slightly larger than ours. In Asia, a mysterious sister species called the Denisovans dominated the landscape. In the islands of Indonesia, a tiny, 1-meter-tall human species, nicknamed the hobbits, hunted pygmy elephants. Our ancestors, emerging from Africa, did not enter an empty world. They walked straight into territories occupied by deeply established, highly adapted human species. Yet, within a few thousand years of our arrival, all of them vanished. Our ancestors didn't have claws, fangs, or superhuman strength. So, what was our secret weapon? It wasn't individual intelligence. A single Neanderthal was likely just as smart, if not smarter, than a single Homo sapiens. Instead, our ultimate superpower was the size of our social networks. Neanderthals lived in small, isolated family groups, rarely numbering more than 20 or 30 individuals. If a local famine hit, or if their best hunters were injured, an entire Neanderthal group could easily starve to death. But Homo sapiens developed a highly complex, recursive language. This allowed us to do something no other species had ever achieved. We could coordinate with hundreds of complete strangers through shared stories, myths, and trade. We built massive social networks that spanned hundreds of miles. When our ancestors faced a harsh winter or a resource shortage, they didn't starve in isolation. They reached out to other bands in their network, trading tools, sharing hunting grounds, and pooling resources. We survived because we had a massive, cooperative safety net. Neanderthals were trapped in their tiny family units, cut off from the compound interest of shared human knowledge. We also possessed a significant technological edge in how we hunted. Neanderthal skeletons are packed with healed fractures, resembling the injuries of modern rodeo riders. This is because they relied on heavy, close-range thrusting spears. To kill a woolly mammoth or a bison, a Neanderthal had to physically grapple with the animal, putting their lives on the line with every meal. But Homo sapiens invented projectile technology, spear throwers, bows, and lightweight throwing darts. We could hunt from a safe distance, drastically reducing the risk of injury and ensuring that our hunters lived long enough to raise the next generation. But the disappearance of our evolutionary cousins wasn't just a story of violent displacement. It was also a merger. When modern geneticists sequenced the Neanderthal genome, they made a shocking discovery. If you are of non-African descent, between 1 and 2% of your DNA is Neanderthal. In parts of Asia and Oceania, populations carry up to 6% Denisovan DNA. We didn't just compete with them, we slept with them. We had children together, raising hybrid families in a messy, prehistoric blend of cultures. Some of those genetic gifts remain incredibly useful today. Modern Tibetans carry a specific Denisovan gene variant that allows their blood to process oxygen efficiently at extreme high-altitude mountain elevations. They didn't completely go extinct. They were absorbed into the expanding wave of Homo sapiens. For the groups that did vanish, the end likely came from a combination of climate instability, resource competition, and invisible biological weapons. As Homo sapiens expanded out of Africa, we carried tropical pathogens, to which other hominid species had zero immunity. Much like the colonization of the Americas, simple contact with our populations may have triggered devastating epidemics that decimated Neanderthal and Denisovan groups before we even entered their valleys. Squeezed out of the best hunting grounds, weakened by disease, and stressed by rapid climate shifts, their population slowly dwindled into isolated marginal pockets until the last family simply forgot to reproduce. We are not the inevitable apex of human design. We were simply one option among many, a draft in a series of evolutionary experiments. We survived not because we were stronger, faster, or individually smarter, but because we were designed to connect, to share, and to cooperate. The other human species left their mark on our tools, our cultures, and our very DNA. They deserve to be remembered not as failed evolutionary footnotes, but as our close relatives who walked the earth for hundreds of thousands of years, looked out at the same stars, and left a piece of themselves inside every single one of us.